The Cloud Collector. Leo loved watching clouds. He could spend hours lying on the grass, staring at the sky. He liked how the clouds floated, changing shapes as they moved. Some looked like fluffy animals, others like castles or ships. Sometimes he made up stories about them. A mighty dragon chasing a knight, a giant whale swimming through the sky. He wished he could reach up and touch them. Then one afternoon, something amazing happened. Leo was playing in his backyard when he picked up an empty glass jar. Just for fun, he held it up to the sky. To his surprise, a tiny wisp of cloud drifted down, slipped inside, and stayed. He gasped and held the jar close, staring at the little puff swirling inside. It was soft, glowing, and cool against the glass. He had caught a piece of the sky. Excited, he ran to his room and placed the jar on his windowsill. The next day he tried again and caught another cloud, then another. Soon he had an entire row of jars, each holding a tiny cloud. There were big fluffy white clouds, soft pink sunset clouds, and even dark stormy ones that rumbled quietly inside their jars. His room became a place of magic, filled with swirling colors and soft mist. At first it was wonderful. Leo loved watching his collection grow. Sometimes he opened a jar and let a little cloud float around his room before gently guiding it back in. It felt like he had a special secret. He was the only person in the world who knew how to catch clouds. But soon Leo wanted more. He climbed onto rooftops, ran through fields with a butterfly net, and woke up at dawn to catch the morning mist. Every time he saw a beautiful cloud in the sky, he felt the need to capture it. His collection grew bigger and bigger. Jars covered every shelf, stacked from floor to ceiling. Then strange things started to happen. One morning, Leo looked outside and noticed something was different. The sky seemed empty. There were no fluffy white clouds drifting by, no dark rain clouds gathering in the distance. The air felt hotter, heavier. Days passed, but still no clouds appeared. Then the town began to change. The river, once full and sparkling, started to shrink. The grass turned yellow and dry. Flowers drooped, their petals curling. The trees lost their leaves too soon. People in the town looked worried. "Where is the rain?" they asked. "Why is the sky so empty?" Leo felt uneasy. He turned to his jars and noticed something he hadn't seen before. The clouds inside no longer swirled happily. They moved slower, pressing against the glass, as if they were trying to escape. They looked trapped. Leo's heart sank. He had taken too many clouds. Without them in the sky, there was no rain. Without rain, the plants couldn't grow, the rivers couldn't flow, and people couldn't live happily. He had made a terrible mistake. That evening, as the sun set, Leo carried his jars up the tallest hill in town. The wind whispered around him as he stood at the top, holding his first jar in his hands. "I'm sorry," he whispered, twisting the lid open. The little cloud inside stretched, then whooshed out, floating high into the sky. It stretched wider, grew bigger, and finally joined the open air again. One by one, Leo opened the rest of the jars. The clouds burst free, rising up, swirling and dancing as they returned to where they belonged. The sky slowly filled again, soft wisps turning into great billowing clouds. And then it happened. A raindrop landed on Leo's nose, then another, then 100 more. The rain started as a drizzle, then turned into a gentle, steady shower. The thirsty earth drank it up. The trees seemed to sigh with relief. The river swelled with fresh water. People ran outside, laughing and spinning in the long-awaited rain. Leo stood there, letting the raindrops soak his hair, his clothes, his skin. He smiled, feeling lighter than he had in weeks. He had learned something important. Some things are not meant to be kept. Some things need to be free. From that day on, Leo never tried to collect clouds again. Instead, he watched them with joy,